Glad you're waking up with us. So it is one of the touchiest subjects parents have to deal with. How do you teach your kids to be accepting of other races and cultures?
Parent coach Sarina Natkin is here. Of course, you have children. You face this issue with your own kids. We all do. It doesn't have to be a touchy subject, right? We should start when our kids are super young talking about race, because there are kids of different races all around.
Absolutely. Really, it is our job as parents to help our kids not just tolerate difference, but really appreciate and value the different customs,
and
beliefs,
celebrate.
And practice, and celebrate, for goodness sake. Yes. And it is up to us as the parents. And I think one of the things that happens is we don't know what words to use. We don't know how to do it. And we really just need to start somewhere. And there's a wide difference across families in their comfort in talking about race and difference, of course. And white families are actually the least likely families to have those conversations, with 75% of white families never or almost never having conversations about race.
75?
Yeah, and as you can imagine, when it comes to families of color, they're way more likely, 3 times more likely to have these conversations, because they're experiencing oppression in subtle and not subtle ways throughout their, sort of moving through our society. And so it's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. But it is, we can't leave it to people who are experiencing oppression to explain it to us, to make us to teach our kids. That's up to us to have those conversations. So,
how do we begin?
Yeah, what's the best approach with the kids ask?
Yes. So first, we need to really acknowledge their questions. So often we're out and about, our kid says, "That man is fat. Why is her skin darker than mine? Why is her skin lighter than mine?" These questions come out and we freeze, because we're like, oh my God, this person's gonna hear and it's gonna hurt them, and I'm going to look like a horrible, like I'm not teaching my kid, and it pushes those buttons. So our urge is to, we'll talk about that later, right? No, right? You need to acknowledge the question. You notice that that man uses a wheelchair to get around. You notice that woman is wearing a head covering. Use the descriptive word to name what you see, and say there are lots of, they may be part of a culture or religion that wears head coverings. Do you have questions about that? So then we look at, so that's sort of addressing when it comes up, but we need to start before that. So babies, this idea that, there's a mistaken belief that parents often have, that I don't want to point out difference, because I want my kid to grow up seeing us all as equal, all the same. And, that's a nice thought, but what happens when we don't talk about things? We send the message, it's not something we talk about.
We're different.
And babies from 6 months, they show interest in difference when they can study and see how babies respond to pictures of people of different genders and different skin colors, and babies are interested in that difference. So it's not a preference thing, they just notice. And think about the first play, babies, they sort by color, by shape.
Let me give you a scenario, because this is classic. A lot of parents face this. I did, lots of parents do. When my little big guy, he's 20 now, when he was little, maybe 4 or 5, a little white kid comes up and touches his little curly hair. Well, how come your hair's like so curly and my hair's not? Because he noticed that the hair texture is different. Great opportunity to talk about difference.
To say, yeah, we do have different hair. Our hair is different. Let's look around when we walk outside. How many different styles of hair do we see? So again, starting before they ask the questions, you need to be looking, what are the books you have in your home and the toys? Are they representative of your culture and the dominant culture? Are they representative of different cultures? So you're looking at those picture books, and parents don't want to say, look at all the different skin colors here, because we're afraid, maybe that's wrong. No, we've got to get the words in their vocabulary.
Or dolls,
or toys. And if we want our kids to go out and change the world, we need to give them the tools and the comfort and the understanding to do that. And that starts with us. My children go to, my older isn't there anymore, but Get in School, which has a social justice and diversity focus, and they start from such a young age talking about this. And that was really a heads up to me, even with my experience as a social worker, to I needed to get on there as well. And it's been a wonderful experience to see how rich their knowledge is in this area.
They're having a big parade tomorrow, aren't they?
Yes, they are, 10 a.m.
For Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
For Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the 4th and 5th graders organize this march. They invite other schools, and they march around the Central District, around 23rd and Jackson, and chant, and they have signs, and they understand what they're doing. You can ask the youngest kids there. I remember when my daughter was in 3-year-old, 4-year-old in preschool there, she could explain why she was marching, why this is so important.
It's inspiring.
Very cool.
Thank you, Sarina.
Thank you.
All right, if you want to learn more about this and everything on Sarina's website, head to sarinanatkin.com. It's one of my favorites now. It's in my Google Chrome favorites. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Important topic.
Thank you.
Discussing race and culture with your kids. Is
Yes.
there anything more important, especially in this
No,
day and
this
age?
is so important because
great
unfortunately we're seeing behaviors from adults trickling down more, and we need to get on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call. All right, thanks, Sarina.